So, Mike, are you ready? Just about, I
Mm,
guess.
yeah, I think so.
Okay, so we have our next reader and writer, the Michael Chisholm. We also have a book coming up. It's already out now, actually, isn't it?
There it is.
There we go. There it is. Ruling the universe and other occupations.
Yeah.
And without further ado, let's let Mike do his thing.
So am I loud enough? Am I all right? Yeah, good. Right, okay. So I'm going to do a series of poems and short stories I've written. And the first one's called The Dead Like to Party. The dead were singing and dancing in the streets, jumping and jiving, scaring all strangers that they meet. They made their way down to the Devil's Bar, run by their old pal Lucifer. When she was screaming on the mic, you'd have to say she gave the audience quite a fright. Placed the words under the golem's tongue, who came from miles around when he sung. Was a mimic wearing Donald Trump's face. He was on the dance floor tearing up the place. Go would take your hand, take your arm. Gotta say that boy had charm. Frankenstein, he brought Nessie back from the dead. Never seen spin on his head. See the dead, they like to party too. The only thing that's missing is you. This is quite a short one. The first two lines are from a friend's poem, and then I just kind of finished it off. And I've done a couple of these, so there'll be another one later on. It's just called A Normal Night. Picture this, it's a normal night. Rooftops glisten in the bright moonlight. A werewolf hounds, a vampire bites, a ghost frights. It's the witching hour, the time for the creatures of the night. And this one's more of one about COVID and lockdown, but it includes zombies, so I thought I'd include it tonight. There are not enough zombies in this apocalypse. There are not enough zombies in this apocalypse. No flesh eating, a brain munching, stumbling, shambling, gear arguing, mutant monstrosities. There is not enough nuclear fallout in this apocalypse. No mushroom clouds, no sirens so loud, living underground, only vault dwellers allowed. War is not inevitable in this apocalypse. There are not enough aliens in this apocalypse. No flying saucers, no humans for main courses, no death rays, no White House explosions, no mass panic, no historical commotions, only phoning home in this apocalypse. There are not enough asteroids in this apocalypse. No giant rocks hurtling from space on a collision course to wipe out the human race. No last gasp chances, no forgotten romances. No, we don't want to miss a thing in this apocalypse. Now, this apocalypse is far too mundane to appear on the Hollywood multiplex again and again. Too many days spread on without end. Too many press briefings stuck on repeat. Too many heroes that play well on screen. Too hard to shoot an enemy that can't be seen. This is called I Could Murder Shakespeare, and it's about death and performing. I could murder Shakespeare. They found Romeo and Juliet dead on the kitchen floor, and a patio there were bodies by the score, from soliloquies to quotes, whole tragedies, and more. Words with fields were soaked in blood. Daffodil, the poets left at each scene, their words were mangled, their literary crimes obscene. Keats was taken down in a casual drive by shouting ode to a nightingale. Machine gun stutter left many a Dickens work dead in the gutter. Coming at crime spree as parts of Dylan Thomas were lifted wholeheartedly. Whole childhoods were about to be eviscerated as our speaker contemplated. Roald Dahl or J.K. Rowling, the words were spilling out, no one could stop them flowing. Tolkien and C.S. Lewis were left in bloody pieces for a savage attack from a literary thesis. Even Douglas Adams and Terry Pratchett weren't safe. Their funniest quotes left a rictus grin on the audience's face. So tonight, the only words that I'll murder on my own. This is a little bit similar to Becca's story, although it's a lot shorter because it's about raising people from the dead. It's called Knock Knock. Picture this, it's a normal night. Rooftop glisten in the bright moonlight. There's a normal man with his normal walk, approaching a normal alley. He readies a normal knife. He plunges the normal knife into a normal woman. The family have to adjust to a new normal, without a wife, without a mother, until one day, hear a normal knocking on the door. They've heard so many times before. This one I wrote for our recent poetry night we do every month in the UK, and we tend to write sestinas, which are really confusing to write. They got a weird rhythm to them. So here we go. This is Landfill. Throw me in the landfill. Don't think about the consequences. Throw me in the dark pit. Don't think about the choices that you make. Throw me in the water. Don't think about the splash I will create. Don't think about the pain you will create. Throw me in the landfill. Wait until under the water. Wait until the water wipes away all the consequences. Don't think about mistakes that you make. I'll be here at the bottom of the pit. Leave me in a dirt pit. Don't think about the bones I will create. Across every escape attempt I make, I'll become the landfill. There will be no consequences, and the pit will fill with water. I will become one with the water. My spirit will fill the pit. Where betide the consequences, those who enter will create, and they will become one with the landfill, filling every escape attempt they make. Now do you see the mistakes that you make? They will become consumed. They will be consumed with the water, and will become landfill together with me in the pit. You see the horror that you create. We are all now water. There are always unforeseen consequences to the choices that you make. Think about the outcome you will create. You'll see it in the water. You'll see it in the dark pit. We all will end up in a landfill. Now you see what you create. Now you see the consequences. You'll end in landfill along with everything you make. You'll be consumed by the water and join me in the dark pit.
Yeah. What was the form of that? Sorry, Mike.
It's a sestina.
Yeah.
So every word at the end is repeated. So there's landfill, consequences, pit, making water, and then it's in a specific order. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the second one.
Yeah.
And then it's something like 2, 3, 5, 4 on the next one, and so on.
Cool. Good. Carry on, sorry.
So this next one, I've heard that a great way of writing characters is to sit them in a psychiatrist's office and like interview them. So I came up with this idea of interviewing horror characters. So this is called Anonymous. I haven't killed anyone lately. You don't know how difficult it is. I can sense their blood pulsing through their veins. Thumb, thumb, thumb. Thunderous. In a crowded space, it reaches a cacophony. I can't think. I can't breathe. All I can do is run, and they're everywhere. It was so much easier before. Even now, I can hear your heartbeats. Ba-bum, ba-bum, ba-bum. The sound is thunderous. Ba-bum, ba-bum, ba-bum. I live, always living when every other sense is dulled. The hours turn into days, the days turn into weeks, into months, into years, into decades. You will be gone in an instant, mere half century or more, and I will continue. Soon I won't be able to avoid them, and I will go slowly insane. If I hadn't lost my sanity long ago, as I started upon this path of temperance. So this next one is from the point of view of a zombie, and it's called Fitting In. And it's also in the book. I could read it from the book, but it's easier on my tablet. Fitting in. Carl was a zombie. He'd been a zombie for quite some time now, and it's common knowledge that zombies are brain dead, that they no longer think, that their vocabulary is limited to the word brains, and that they shuffle and stumble around looking for the next tasty brain to munch on. But that isn't entirely true. Yes, brains are incredibly nourishing, and if you could just sit down here and pick out a whole bucket of brains, he would do. But there's so much more to it than that. See, first of all, you have to get the shuffle just right. There could be a whole host of unfortunate consequences. One misstep and you were shunned by the pack. And these days, you really can't afford to be doing that. See, humans, they get on smart. too smart. The early months were great, an all-you-could-eat buffet, the delicious tenderness of a young brain, exact tang of a teenage brain. If you want to munch on for a while, there was nothing like a good old brain. Today, though, there were so few left that only those who were part of the pack, part of the crowd, had a chance to get in supper. His friend, was friend the right word? Let's just say they shuffled together for quite some time. Anyway, his friend Steve had decided to go it alone 2 weeks ago. Guess he thought if he caught a human on his own, there wouldn't be anyone to share it with. Plus, going solo would be harder to spot. And maybe there'd be a chance to get mistaken for a human. He wasn't quite sure. It was difficult to tell when the conversation went brains, left arm up and turn, brains, right arm up and turn, and play with brains, both arms up. 3 days ago, though, they'd finally overcome a tricky nest of humans, and he was pecking through the remains he saw Carl, and personally preferred his meals. Sorry, 3 days ago, they'd finally overcome a tricky nest of humans. When he was picking through the remains, he saw the remains of Steve, and it was a little crispy, and personally, Carl preferred his meals raw, but in this climate, who's going to complain? So we got Eli.
Nice.
And this
Brains.
next one is more of a mental health demons one rather than actual demons, but it's kind of demons. Although mental health is quite an inspiration for most horror stories, so I suppose it's quite fitting. Demons. There's a demon on my back and she's holding me down, suffocating me and drowning me out. I struggle, break free, and slink out to face the day. The demon inside of me and my soul is entwined. My pulse is electric and life is divine. We are as one. This world is mine. The demon in the mirror and she's borrowed my face. Not one hair, one freckle is out of place. You question it, you ask, trying to come to terms with what has passed. I want a fourth verse, some kind of resolution to this tale, to this curse. That's not how demons work though. We live with them, we battle, we fight. One day we'll walk hand in hand into the night. And then this final one, I've been written a load of stories, all based on a deck of cards, and this is one of the stories. I think I've written about 12 of them so far, and this is called Two of Hearts. There was blood on the page. A slow drip, drip, drip was causing a puddle of blood. A wild, uncharted ocean of ink and seas of blood was coalescing into maelstrom of terror. Well, that's a little overdramatic, wasn't it? See, Jamie was prone to wild flights of fancy, that and nosebleeds. Yes, the drip, drip of blood was from a nosebleed, gone all over his geography helmet. Difference between metamorphic, igneous, and sedimentary rock. Jim had hoped to transform it into an awe-inspiring tale of violence, sex, drugs, rock and roll. The last time his imagination ran away with him, he had to visit the headmaster's office. Obviously, there was a clear link between the Russian Revolution and a secret base on the moon that we used over the centuries to subdue and control the Western world. Obviously. Who's telling this story? Me or you? Stop interrupting me, Jamie. See, Jamie was unique in another way. His life was narrated by an intelligent, funny, witty, humorous. Now, wait, you guessed it. His life was narrated by me. And he wonders why I'm prone to such flights of fancy. Can you imagine such a boring voice droning on and on in the background every day, describing every move, catching up on some supposed audience, an event, and God forbid, summing up each episode like it was moral to my life? And he does like to interrupt, doesn't he? Maybe it's ADHD. That would explain a lot. Swear worry. Ah, yes. Geography, Howard. No, that's not why today's important. This is what narrators like to call setting the scene. No, today's important because it's his birthday. You think I don't know that? And geography, Howard. Who gives geography, Howard, to someone on their birthday? There should be rules against birthdays. It's a cruel and unusual form of torture. Yes, Jamie, but they don't know that, do they? Who's this they you're always talking about exactly? You never told me. But you're actually talking to yourself. It's not like there's an audience out there watching me. Well, apart from the Russians, of course. Now, Jamie, you can't tell me that. You wouldn't want to ruin the surprise for you, would you? What? Like the time you were ruining the surprise party when I was 8? or the ending of half a dozen movies, or that present I was getting last Christmas. Why isn't there an off switch for you? I think, Jamie, you need to start showing me a little bit more respect. This isn't like you. You used to enjoy our story times. As I was saying, it was Jamie's birthday, and Jamie was excited about this, as all little boys are. At 14, you idiot. 14. It was due to be a surprise party with cake and presents and all his friends. It'd be a night he would remember for the rest of his life. Look, I know it's my birthday, but what was that? Hush now and enjoy the story. Jamie's birthday was at bowling alley, because Jamie loved bowling. And at the bowling alley, there was a magician. What? Bowling? They took me there the last 3 birthdays. I haven't had a magician since I was 7. And all of Jamie's friends were there smiling to greet him. My friends won't be seen dead at a bowling alley. Who goes bowling anymore? All of Jamie's friends had disappeared, and that wasn't right. Jamie was a wicked, evil little child, so he didn't have any friends in the first place, so the bowl alley was diverted. Apart from him, his parents, and the magician. No, you can't do that. That's not possible. Stop. Now the magician was going to perform a magic trick. And everyone likes magic trick, don't they, Jamie? Don't they, Jamie? Yes. Don't answer me, Jamie. Just smile. Jamie tried to get excited about what was going to happen next. Now the magician asked for a member of the audience to draw a card. Why not the birthday boy? Jamie drew a 7 of diamonds from the pack. Now the little boy drew a tar hearts from the pack. Wait, I didn't. Are you really still going to interrupt me? To get incredibly bad manners. And we were just getting to the interesting part of the story. See, this was an extra special magic trick, and an extra special magician for the 2 hearts that were drawn, and 2 hearts had to be claimed. So Jamie picked up the knife. Wait, no. There we go.
Excellent. Thank you, Mike. Thanks for that. There's a nice mix there of like some comedic pieces and I especially like the piece about what's the dropping into the landfill. That was a really nice poem, yeah. Anybody else?
I've written that one quite recently.
Oh, really? Okay. Thank you very much.
Cheers.
You can all unmute yourselves now if you like. It's okay. Does anyone want to say anything to Mike? Hello, Kate, as well, with John Lennon glasses on.
Oh, I should have unmuted myself. Yeah, hi.
Anybody else want to say anything to Mike? You can stick around, Mike, if you want, of course.
Yeah, I'll stay for a bit.
Cool.
Poetry is still difficult for me. So the first half was okay, and the further it went, the more difficult to understand it was for me. Just very easy to lose track.
It's easier to read poems than to listen. Because when you read
Can't party anymore. Forgot the mic.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, thank you very much. I love the mental health part. That's
where I got lost.
Oh, really? But to me, that's also it's the topic that that's always so it's slightly controversial, and like you never know what to expect, kind of. So yeah, I loved it.
Thanks.
Anybody else want to chime in? Say some words to Mike.
Sorry, I'm talking to Lobster. Lobster can't join us for some reason. The link is not working for her.
Okay.
No, sorry.
That's a shame.
Very much. For me, it was first experience when somebody on Zoom is reading your own stories or your own poetry. I'm so excited.
Great.
And you look amazing.
You've got a fantastic smile, Pavel.
Also, I think I've seen the cat.
Yes.
In the background.
Magic cat.
And it was real. It was not Snapchat filter. It was a real cat.
Absolutely real.
We all love it. We love a cat. Cot. Yalla blue kot.
Oh,
That face palm suggests that Russian was a bit off there.